Hey guys, so you probably don't know this about me because you don't know a lot about me, but one of the things that interests me a lot is social attraction, something I call social attraction. Why a large majority of people are attracted to a certain kind of person for a certain period of time, and why, and what are the reasons the reasons can go back thousands of years as to what is seen as attractive. And this is something I've always found interesting. There's always been the rumor, right? It's not really a rumor. It's true almost, as far as I've seen. It's been, it's, it's become a very real thing to me that a lot of Asian women prefer white guys. And if you go on Facebook, there's Facebook groups of like Korean women looking for white guys. Groups that I used to be in. Because I'm not gonna lie, they were just easier, because I don't know. I'm not a bad person. That doesn't make me a bad person, right? I don't think so. So I have an article here that I'm going to read. It's a very short article, but it has comments on it, and that's the fun part. So, yeah, we're going to read the comments as well. Um, if it will let me do anything. Okay. So it's called Five Reasons Why Asian Girls Love White Men. And it's got a picture here of an Asian girl with a white dude on the beach, I guess. She looks like she's got a lot of white in her, actually, with that smile. Um, so says here there are a few interracial relationships more. I don't know that word. Most of the words that I see online, I'm able to break down and get pretty quick. This one I can't. I don't think I've ever heard this word before. But basically saying that there's nothing more pretentious than the white guy Asian girl couple, which is seen most often in cities such as San Francisco and Seattle. What is it about white men that Asian girls are so drawn to over men of their own ethnicity? Let's ponder the list. They are tall. Despite some of the most recent dating age generation of Korean men being uncharacteristically tall for the most part, Asian men are perceived to have hit the genetic lottery if they are over 5'9". While it may appear that Asian girls wouldn't mind men of short stature since they tend to be petite themselves, that is not how that works. Short women do not want to have a short boyfriend most of the time because it makes them feel big. And women don't like to feel big. Like they don't like to feel physically big. Um, that's part of the reason why women like taller guys. Just because a woman is short does not mean she wants to date short guys. It's not what that means. Um, in reality, they love being around men where they have to tilt their heads upward to make eye contact. Since Asian girls are on a never ending quest to be as cute as possible, a tall man that emphasizes their petiteness when he walks next to them is a total plus. Some Asian women like to be more pretentious, like to be more, you know, like to stand out a little more. It's not just about being cute. There's Asian women that are just sexy. and they are assertive. Um, White men will talk to a pretty Asian girl at a bar. They will walk up to her and say something clever like, I always burn my rice. Do you have any advice? That's all. I mean, that's not clever. It's like, that's, first of all, it's a pun. Well, no, it's not a pun. It's worse than a pun. It's like a fucking Dr. Seuss rhyme. And then, second, it's kind of racist. Um, uh, he will then continue the conversation, making her giggle by trying to say the butchered versions of a few Japanese words he knows. Would this not offend a Japanese woman? Would this not offend like an Asian woman at all? Just assuming that she's Japanese, or like just ripping apart her language with like your slurred speech, or like, all right, whatever. Um, then he will regale her with stories about how he went to go visit his cousin, who serves in the Peace Corps in Guangdong, I guess. Funny word, funny name. He will say the province, not China, to show how worldly he is, and how he tried dog meat on a skewer from. That's the thing about Asian guys, though. They actually do that more often. Asian guys can show off a whole lot more than white guys can with their speech. They do the exact same thing. They think before they talk a lot. Um, I've never met any dumb Asian ever. Rice Gum, though, he's pretty stupid, right? He's Asian. So they exist. Um, in how he tried dog meat on a skewer from a man who sells them on the street from a knockoff. So basically, just trying to relate all this Asian stuff to someone just because they look Asian. Would that not offend you? I don't know. I think that'd be kind of offensive to some people. Um, he says it was actually really tasty. When an Asian boy sees a pretty girl, he only blushes furiously. And if pushed by his guy friends to talk to her, he only manages to stammer. Do you come here often? It's all one word. They wrote it all as one word. Do you come here often? So low that he has to ask him to repeat himself, at which point he runs away. Sounds oddly specific. Kind of sounds like you're really beating down the Asians. Kind of sounds a little like you're a little fucked in the head there for writing something like that. They are cultured. I hate it when people say that white people don't have culture. White people have culture. White people have a lot of culture. There's a lot of traditions that are European. You know, go to Sweden. There's a whole lot of European traditions in Sweden. In Africa, there's a whole section of Africa that's white that share a lot of those traditions. Those, you know, so to say that white people have no tradition and like no culture is just not true. It's just not true at all. It might not be like yours. It might be a little more clean cut and pasted together because that's just how. I will admit about the white race, we tend to knick-knack things together in a way that is different than most races would. Um, Things are not as wild. I will admit that it's things are a little more civilized in tradition when it comes to the white race, which I am a part of, obviously, very much a part of. Let's get back to the article. The brawny, dumb jock types of white men are not attracted to Asian girls. Well, yeah, some of them are. Like, yo, dude, got the yellow fever. Little Asian over there, dude, wearing a skirt. I've heard conversations like that. There's jocks that like Asians. They are too busy chasing blonde girls with long legs who wear too much bronzer and Tory Birch Flats. The type of white men that are attracted to Asian girls are usually thin, crane-like, and if past the age of 28, have a plainly receding line of gingery, close-cropped hair. They are never tan and are usually pale to the point of looking a bit anemic. They wear glasses and are very well read. Unlike Asian men, whose idea of nice date is making the girl watch him play World of Warcraft, followed by dim sum and hopefully a blowjob. White men take their Asian dates to see Madame Butterfly, and then to this is all so oddly specific. It has to be a joke, right? But there's another article just like this that's a lot more authentic, and I'm gonna read that one too. And that's the one with the comments on it, because I think I've read this before. Extremely well versed in the history of culture and their date's homeland, and some speak the native language better than she does, having majored in it in college or lived there for the last year. Yeah, a lot of guys when they graduate high school, they'll go to Asia and they'll be a teacher there. You can be a teacher. You can teach English in is it Taiwan? I think it's Taiwan. I think it's Taiwan. I think so. Maybe it's Tokyo. No, it's Taiwan. I think it's Taiwan. Um, College and or live there for a last year. Asian girls find this interesting in their home culture, both comforting and flattering. They see it as a reflection of their white date's deep intellectual curiosity. They cook. I'm not really a good cook. As a matter of fact, in most cultures, like pretty much, I think almost every race and culture, the woman is usually seen as the person who takes care of the cooking. Um, in gender roles, if you're going to look at gender roles, so to say that I like white men because they cook, to say that we all cook is not true. I don't cook. This reflects how unchauvinistic they are. Unlike Asian men who are told by their grandmothers that their dicks will fall off if they step foot inside the kitchen. White men love to cook. Not all white men. Like I said, this is very specific. This was written by a mentally ill person, very obviously so. This indicates that they do not believe a woman's place is only in the kitchen, because Asian girls are raised to believe that men should be served hand and foot. They are amazed when their white date suggests that he cooked dinner. But I know Asian girls that will literally act that way. You know what I think is fucked up, and I will say this, and it happens with black women too. Black women, sometimes they will treat black guys like shit no matter what they try to do. Even if they're trying really hard, they'll treat them like shit. And then they will actually like whore themselves out completely to a white guy. And the white guy can fuck up a million times and the black girl will stay with him. And that is not good. And the same thing happens with Asian women. So I don't know what's up with that. I honestly don't. Um, I don't know what's up with that. It bothers me though. That's not good. It does bother me. Genuinely bothers me. They are emotionally aware, which I will kind of agree with. I think a lot of races are very not emotionally aware. But this person contradicts themselves. Because they say that Asian guys are like, oh, shy and like all this and that, and they play Warcraft, and like, seems like they're kind of emotionally aware of themselves, though, when you talk about them like that. Asian girls grow up with fathers who express affection by the fact that they put a roof over their heads and food on the table. They're expected to infer that they are loved if they weren't given up for adoption, while they're initially slightly confused when told by their white boyfriend that he needs to process his feelings. They soon come to appreciate such things, along with his abstract watercolor paintings, poetry, weekly trips to his therapist, and evidence of the rich inner life of his soul. I almost lost my shit when she said abstract watercolor paintings because it is the most specific shit ever. Oh, we're gonna read this real quick. Asian women need to stop dating white men. And I really want to rip this apart and read it to you guys. Hold on. This article you are trying to read has been reported by the community as hateful or abusive content. For more information about your reporting system, head to our About page. Return to home page. See, there is a war against Asian men. They can't even talk shit online without getting reported and taken down. You know? Look at this shit. I can't even read the fucking article. I'm gonna try it again. Because I actually really. Oh, wait, no, I can. Okay, I can read it. I think I can read it. Yeah, okay, they're gonna let me read it. Awesome. Another fucking awesome picture. They picked the dopey looking white guy for that. And you know what's weird is the fucking white guy. Now he looks like he's got some Asian in him. It's so weird. I think they're doing this shit just to fuck with me. They're everywhere. I can't walk half a yard down the high fashion streets of Boston. What the fuck are you high fashion street? Well, they are pretty high fashion, aren't they? I've seen some crazy shit in New York. Like, it's like a fucking video game. Like a prince walking around with a fucking queen. Like, on it. They got some high fashion up there. Tall fucking goddesses walking down the street together and shit. Fucking long dresses. It's like a fucking video game. Visually assaulted by them. Wow, dude. You're such a great guy, huh? They are such an eyesore that I wish they would just put a big fat trigger warning on themselves. I think you're saying that because a white guy put a big fat something else inside one of your Asian girlfriends that cheated on you. Because you need an attitude adjustment, sir. You are perpetuating the stereotype that Asian women are talking about. Or whatever, and cover up completely every time I see one. I can't help but feel as though the patriarchy is giving me a big fat bitch slap on my rosy, supple 35-year-old cheeks. Why are you describing yourself so much? I'm referring, of course, to WMAW couples, white men, Asian woman couples. Read white women and to stop procreating. Oh, there's another one. We're not going to read that one, though. Okay, so now you might be thinking, like, gosh. Oh, this is a girl. Okay. Sorry. Why you gotta be all racist? They're strong, independent yellow women, choosing their own partners in life. If they want to date a white man, all the more power to them, right? Wrong. Can I tell you guys a story? When I was at a hockey game, there was like a bunch of bald, old, fat Jewish guys, all just thrown into the seats, just random places. All of them had a young Asian woman sitting next to them. All of them. And I was like, holy shit. It was just crazy to see. The phenomenon is itself one steeped in patriarchal values, sexism, and racism. Ever since it's okay, we're not reading the rest of this because this is just bullshit, and I can understand why it was reported, and I kind of want to report it too, but I won't. The white guy Asian woman phenomenon. Alright, let's go to the one that I was actually reading before this bullshit. Let me try to find it over here real quick. I gotta go to Bing to do this. Because Bing had it here. I'm not pausing the video. I don't give a fuck. You guys can sit here with me and suffer, right? Yeah, let's go to fucking Bing, because that's where it was. Alright. 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 What the fuck? Okay, let's use Bing. Because this is not showing up on Google. 5 reasons why Asian girls like white guys. Because there's another article with the exact same name that is a lot shorter. Here it is. Okay, cool. This is the one with the fucking comments that I was enjoying. Look at that fucking thing. Look at it go. Oh, it was the little loading thing. Remember when you could play Snake with the loading thing on YouTube? I think you could still do that. I'm not sure though. You should be able to do it on your phone too. That would be cool. 5 reasons Asian girls like white guys. Hey guys, I'm Rochelle and I am a blogger of Amped Asia. Is that an Asian name? Because it sounds like a black name. Blogging about a lot of different topics. Because isn't that a... Everybody Hates Chris, his mother. Her name's Rochelle, right? We're just gonna cut straight to the article. Social prowess. White men are more socially in tuned, and thus they have more social prowess than Asian guys. What I mean by social prowess is that they know what to do in social situations, and they know how to network and meet new people well. I think the major reason for this is that I do live in the United States in an area with a dominant white majority. White guys own the popularity contest, and sometimes this is something that is attractive to girls. As much as I hate to admit it, my gender sometimes has the tendency to get a little shallow, as does my gender as well. So if a white guy makes you look better than an Asian guy, then maybe you might want to choose the white guy. I mean, if you're starting off a relationship with that shallow aspect, you're not gonna be in a long-term relationship, probably. So it really doesn't matter at that point. Don't try to go after a girl that wants a white dude just because of that. Don't feel bad because she doesn't want you. Like, feel good that she doesn't want you. Don't let your light attract moths, you know. Um, Number 4 is balls. I've met some Asian guys with balls. You know who? And you know an Asian guy with balls is Chris Worski from the Worski channel, Andy Worski. He's got balls. But for every Asian guy with balls, there are 3 or 4 white guys with just as much or even more balls. So I'm definitely not saying that Asian guys never have confidence. This isn't true. but I have to admit that I've found that there are more white guys out there that are more confident. I think it has to do with testosterone and also just the way you're brought up as well. Like Asian, like there's not a lot of fucking hard working fucking farm boys in fucking Asia. You know what I mean? Like there's like they're into more like intricate stuff, like more tedious things, like building stuff. This is just what I've noticed is that Asian families they're more simplified in a way that they focus a lot of their energy on their fingers with building things and not really their hands with building things. And I think that makes a huge difference with how you act. I really do. I really do. Um, Unique. I've met a lot of white guys that are not unique, that dress like everyone else, and they sag their pants, and they're just not smart, really. I don't know. Sometimes a girl just wants something different. It's quite possible that the girl might be at a stage where she wants something unique and maybe network with some people that are different. I've dated a lot of Asian guys before my first white guy, and this was definitely true for me. It felt refreshing to hang out with a few girls and guys of different races. Well, in America, everyone's friends with everyone, kind of. You won't run into that problem too many times. Except for with, well, yeah, you will sometimes. You'll still run into it. I'm thinking about school. I've been thinking about high school and stuff. They pull the trigger. I saw the movie Vice today, which is about Dick Cheney, and there's a screenshot of Alex Jones holding a gun to the camera. Of course you're gonna pick that screenshot, right? It probably, I mean, with all due respect, it probably is the best screenshot of Alex Jones, but they could have played some clips or something. White guys are just more assertive. Sometimes girls just don't want to wait. I've seen that Asian guys tend to drag out things a lot longer. They want to really extend the courting process. Sometimes girls just want a boyfriend and they want it now. White guys are really good at realizing this and acting on it. I'm pretty good at realizing that and acting on it, but that doesn't mean that all white guys are, and that doesn't mean that all Asian guys aren't. Um, I know an Asian kid that was very aware of things like that. You know, um, was an asshole though. Western concept of beauty. Living in the United States has probably clouded my judgment a little bit. When you see models in the press or media, they are always toned, large, tall, and attributes that Asian guys, oh, all attributes that Asian guys tend to not to have. What? Um, Toned, large, tall. Asian guys are. Oh, by toned, you mean with muscle. I mean, I don't know. If an Asian guy works out, he can get toned. Um, and there's definitely some large Asian guys out there. And there's some tall ones. I don't know. But tend not to have, I guess that's true. Um, Attributes that Asian guys tend not to have. I think it might have to do with just the way us Asian American girls were brought up. Our concept of beauty makes us think that Westerners just have that beauty that guys of our race don't have. Um, you also have a beauty that we don't have, though. You know, um, like your hair is so straight that even our straightest hair doesn't look quite like yours. You know, um, Like, I have wavy hair. You can tell. It's not really straight, and it gets really curly. What the fuck am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. But whatever beauty you think that we have that they don't, they have beauty that we don't have. Just like black guys have beauty that we don't have. You know what I mean? Enough said. Hope you guys enjoyed my first post. I'm going to be blogging for Amped Asia in my spare time and have my own column. I am expecting some mail from you guys on this article. Give me ideas for future posts. Much love, Rochelle. So now we're going to get into the comments because this is going to be interesting. And I'm excited. Truly, I am. To get into these. Oh, yeah, this guy. He's trolling. He's talking about how small his dick is and how big of a problem it is. And he replied to like every comment with that. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Funny guy. This is a waste bitch lost. Fucking the beast? Don't touch that thing. You'll get sick. So apparently white men are beast. Sounds pretty fucking cool to me, so thanks. Then there's this guy, Pat, with a panda fucking thing. Testosterone is the base of cure for all this hoopla. For all this hoopla, gents. Doesn't matter what race you are, if you're attractive or attractive. I've the beholder. I've already read that. There's this one. They have the same fucking picture, but they're different people. This article just makes me laugh. Asians are so pathetic. Asian women are proud to be willingly whores to white society, and Asian men are emasculated pushovers that aid white society. Both genders act like dogs to their white masters. There is a cognitive dissonance, I will admit to this, that women tend to have. I haven't seen it with Spanish women. They tend to be the most aware, the most, they don't push over for nobody. You know what I mean? But Asian women and black women, I've noticed that, like, they tend to have a cognitive dissonance. They say one thing to this race and they do a completely different thing with this race. And it's not okay. And I think it's been bred in through horrible shit that was done to that race. I had sex with a black girl one time, and she couldn't get off unless I called her certain names and did certain things, and like was just really degrading. So we did that. But like my point is like that you weren't born with that. Like that comes from somewhere far before your birth. Um, you know, how white people used to treat those races of people. And I think it kind of leaks into this shit. I honestly do believe that. And it's not right and it needs to stop. Really. And there's this fucking guy, this hornball. Fucking wants to fuck her. I don't know if you can read that. Read this shit. Just pause the video and read this shit. Fucking funny, yeah. Hilarious. White skin. Paler skin has been desirable in Asia for thousands of years. That's true, and they used to paint their skin white, and I think some of them still do. White men are seen as higher status, successful, everyone knows this, blah, blah, blah. White people won. I don't know if white people won. I think we sell the most product and we get the most money out of the product that we sell. I think that's what he means. And we build the most infrastructure, which is true. White men treat Asian women the way they want to be treated, often better than the Asian man. I was shocked at how low the maturity level was of Asian men regarding dating in Asia. They acted like 11-year-olds in the States. What do you mean? Oh, okay. So you're just making fun of them. Taller. Sure, there are tall Asians and short whites, but on average, we are taller, that changing some of the interbreeding and hormone-fed beef, but not much. They did put hormones in milk and like an extreme amount of protein into all the meat that like McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's. Like they were really running experiments on us, the American people, to see how big we could get. Uh, yeah. Oh, I didn't read this one. White guys have bigger dicks in general. Yes, there are some white guys with Asian sized dicks, but they aren't the majority. There are no Asians with 10-inch dicks. Period. We'll never say never. There could be. I mean, all you gotta do is search it in on Pornhub and you'll find it, right? Um, I mean, Asian guys tend to be smaller in general, so it just makes sense that their penises would be smaller. Doesn't that make sense? To me, it makes sense. I don't know. And then here's an Asian guy. It's kind of funny. You know what else is kind of funny is that we have a Spike Jones that's white and a Spike Jones that's black. One that worked with Jackass, another one that worked with Boys in the Hood, and now we got this Spike, and he's Asian. And he is going to leave his mark on the world with this fucking epic comment that we all need to listen to. Because he's the new Messiah. He's not, right? It's kind of funny because typically these white guys just use you and move on in the long term after a certain sexual mileage has been reached. Social prowess, wow, big word. It's not really a big word, and she used bigger words before that. Most white boys can't dress outside of Old Navy or Gap, unless, of course, their Asian girlfriends dress them up. No. Most of them are quick to insult and act stupidly, which isn't a fucking word, by the way, by comparison to Asian cats in social settings and have zero interest, taste, or class by comparison. What are you talking about? I have a ton of interest, and I have a lot of class when I want to have it. And I have a lot of taste and interest, by the way, are kind of the same fucking thing. You sound stupid, dude. I knew dumb Asians did exist. Um, they also lack drive and skill. That's not true at all, dude. Do you not know history? Do you like. What are you talking about? They have a lot of fucking drive. White guys have a lot of fucking drive. I know I do. They also, I think most of their arrogant bravado stems from societal stupidity. They're programmed, much like the Nazis convinced themselves they're the master race. Shouldn't every race think it's the master race? Shouldn't every person think of themselves as a god without being. It's okay to brag about what you are, as long as you're not telling someone else what they can't do. That's my opinion. Um, themselves, especially when they soon discover Americanized Asian girls are materialistic white girl wannabes in yellow boaties and lack anything that actually makes them Asian besides exterior looks. So they can't cook, clean, do dishes, fuck, or behave any better than a white girl. I think the only differential quality that sets Asians girls apart is that they're vainer. Is vainer a word? I don't know if it is or not. More insecure and shallow. Those three words are pretty similar in meaning, by the way. You're just throwing words in here. Than some white girls, and hence more high maintenance and thus more expensive. For lack of ROI, soon those chinky eyes, small tits, black hair, bitch attitude, and revere racist against Asian males makes them not only less attractive, but downright weird. I'll give white girls some mad props. They might not have their heads up Asian guys' asses. Oh, you said arses. Excuse me. Gotta find a fucking monocle. This guy just said arses instead of asses. So you know he's classy. After he just said the word bitch. The white boys do for Asian chicks, but they're nicer and more civil to a degree than Asian girls are now. And many of them have become wiser and more attuned to dating Asian guys. For a reason, we don't cheat and we're more emo IQ. Plus, we're all rich. Blah ha ha. I've never met a poor Asian family. There's some Vietnamese families that are pretty poor. And I've met some Korean families that are pretty poor. But most Chinese families or Japanese families, they do pretty well, from what I've seen. You know, and of course there's plenty of more, and there's people from India that are Indian they're actually just Asians. Those are Asians because it's in Asia, and a lot of them are not very rich, but some of them are very rich. There's one that's really rich. He controls all the stocks. I don't know his name. I don't think I'm supposed to even know that he does that, but he does. He makes a phone call, stocks go down. He makes a phone call, stocks go up, and he's from India. I don't even know if he's still in that position anymore. He might not be. So get your facts straight. You're only embarrassing yourself in trying to put down Asian guys, sweetheart. I don't think she was putting down Asian guys at all. I think she was honestly being honest with herself to make this article. You contradicted a lot of the things that she said, and then you said, like, oh, Asian guys are actually like that, and white guys are the opposite. And it's like, but you were just trying to put white guys down. And then you brought up white girls. Like, I can tell that you have a strategy in your head, like, I'm going to bring down the white guys and the Asian girls, but I'm going to bring up the white girls. I'm going to give them props. And I'm going to give the Asian girls some props. I'm going to give the girls some props, right? Because in some weird way, I'm going to get to be with the girls, and the white guys, I'm going to break them down so hard that they're not going to be with anyone. Like, I can tell your little fucking thing going on in here, dude. I've been there. Okay, I've been a little insecure piece of shit like you. Not that I don't get insecure now. Of course, I still do get insecure about stuff. But this stuff is just so fucking interesting to me. And the rest of them are so long and drawn out. I think we've seen enough. I got people to talk to, and yeah, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. So, love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And be back in a flash.